Their French watch. A maquet. 7:59 a.m. Any moment now the plane might land. Kate sipped water, her eye trained on the parishioners mounting Sacré-Cœur's stairs and disappearing into the church's open doors. Old ladies, working men, families with children in tow. A toddler, a little girl in a yellow dress, broke away from the crowd, wandering along the portico until a woman in a blue hat caught her hand. Kate hadn't accounted for the people attending Mass. Stupid. Why hadn't Stepney's detailed plan addressed that? She pushed her worry aside. Her gaze focused through the telescopic sight on the top step, dead center. Her target's entourage would surround him and keep him isolated from French civilians. That's if he even comes. The pealing church bells made her jump, the slow reverberation calling one and all to 8 o'clock Mass. Maybe she'd taken too much dexedrine. But she kept her grip steady, her finger coiled around the metal trigger, and her eye focused. A few latecomers hurried up the church steps. Kate recognized the concierge of the building she was hiding in. She'd sneaked past the woman yesterday, using her lock-picking training to let herself into one of the vacated apartments. An unaccustomed thrill had filled her as the locked door clicked open. She'd done it, and after only brief training in that drafty old manor, God knew where in the middle of the English countryside. After the flurry of the call to Mass, a sleepy Sunday descended over Montmartre. The streets below her were empty except for a man pushing a barrow of melons. He rounded the corner. The morning was so quiet she heard only the twittering of sparrows in the trees, the gurgling water in the building pipes. The wood floor was warm under her legs. On the periphery of the rifle's sight, a butterfly's blue-violet wings fluttered among orange marigolds. 8:29 a.m. Her heart pounded, her doubts growing. Say her target's plans had changed. What if his flight landed tonight, tomorrow, or next week? She wondered how long she could stay in this apartment before the owners returned, or a neighbor heard her moving around and knocked on the door. 8:31 a.m. As she was thinking what in God's name she'd do if she was discovered here, she heard the low thrum of car engines. Down Rue Lamarck, she saw the black hood of a Mercedes. Several more followed behind it, in the same formation she'd seen in the newsreels Stepney had shown her. She breathed in deep and exhaled, trying to dispel her tension. She edged the tip of the Lee Enfield a centimeter more through the shutter slat, kept the rifle gripped against her shoulder, and watched as the approaching convertibles proceeded at 20 miles an hour. In the passenger seat of the second Mercedes sat a man in a white coat like a house painter's. In the rear jump seats, 3 gray uniforms. The elite Führer Begleitkommando bodyguards. She suppressed the temptation to shoot now. She would have only a 1 in 5 chance of hitting him in the car. Besides, that might be a decoy. Her target could be riding in any of the cars behind the first Mercedes. The second Mercedes passed under the hanging branches of linden trees. A gray uniformed man with a movie camera on a tripod stood on the back seat of the last Mercedes, capturing the trip on film. She held her breath, waiting. No troop trucks. The cars pulled up on the Place du Parvis du Sacré-Cœur and parked before the wide stairs leading to the church entrance. This was it. Payback time. The air carried German voices, the tramp of boots, and then, like a sweep of gray vultures, the figures moved up the steps, a tight configuration surrounding the man in the white coat. He wore a charcoal-brimmed military cap, like the others. For a brief moment, he turned, and she saw that black smudge of mustache. The Führer was in her sights now. For that flash of a second before his bodyguards ushered him through the church door. As Stepney had described, 5 feet 10 inches and wearing a white coat. In her head, she considered his quick movements, rehearsed the shot's angle to the top step where he'd stand, the timing of the shot she'd take, noting the absence of wind. The church door opened. So soon? Kate curled her finger, keeping focus on the church pillar in her trigger hairs. But it was the woman with the blue hat.